When someone asks you where you're from?
I say from here, and then sometimes they don't believe me. But
Do you get the like, where
are you really from? Yeah. 6 things not to say to an Asian person. Welcome to America. You speak English very well. Do you get to visit home very often? Are you good at math? I bet you don't drive very well. I dated a Laos girl once. Do you know her? That is all happened to me though. Like, those are all true.
I feel like I let people make me uncomfortable. But I try to say that it's okay because, like, they're not being racist or, like, they're not being homophobic. So, like, a little bit of discomfort is A-okay. Oh, am I doing this thing too often? Am I being too black? Am I not being black enough? I can't be myself all the time because I'm so worried about, like, how people are thinking about me. And it kind of, like, gives me anxiety.
Everyone tells me about their coming out story, which is a big ordeal. But I guess in my life, coming out has always been more of a process and a daily one. Like, I'll be telling a story about hanging out with my girlfriend, and it'll then turn into, oh yes, like, if you didn't know this, then let me come out to you again. And then it gets awkward when it's like a big deal, and then they have to ask you questions. They ask me, like, when did I know, at what age? And like, I guess I never really thought about it, but I just don't know, like, when did straight people know? Sometimes I feel like people stop seeing me as like a person that's just like them, and almost as like something odd, and then it feels like I get poked at by questions that are extremely like dehumanizing.
It's not overt racism, but it's still the messages that you are different and that you don't belong. And I'm going to point out those differences and why you don't belong. It's uncomfortable to tell somebody, like, hey, I know that you're not trying to be racist, but you are being racist.
I really don't like it when people call me, like, a lady or, like, a woman or really anything like that. And so it's really hard because, like, when people do that and when they're saying that to you, like, in conversation, it's because they feel comfortable enough with you to not always address you by your name. It's so hard because it happens to me all the time, and it just really makes me feel really uncomfortable. It's just always a really awkward conversation to have and to keep having to have. It is important to let them know that, like, they're not being mean, but it's really important to let them know that I am uncomfortable. And definitely, I feel like you have to take a minute and just decide if you're in the right headspace for that. If you've been having a particularly bad day and you feel like telling somebody that what they're saying is offensive and hurtful is only going to come off as, I hate you, you're an idiot, maybe that's not the day.
I too make fun of myself for those reasons, but I think it's mainly a defense mechanism. My friends and I joke about it, like, I have a nickname and it's the Crasian because it's like crazy Asian. But at the same time, like, I know that that's feeding into like that same vein. If I really do want to change and I actually want other people to change, like, that's something that I need to drop because I've accepted that it's normal then in my life. For the majority of the time, since it's not overt racism, their intentions are well-meaning, but it doesn't make it less ignorant.
I think the best thing that people can do is to just like make an effort at least to try to like see or try to like read something from a like queer point of view. Even just like thinking about it for 2 seconds before asking me like some really, really personal detail, because you like have always wondered.
If somebody said, welcome to America, it's like, well, I've lived here all but 3 months of my life, so thank you, but you're a little late. Or, you know, I speak English well because that's the only language that I do speak. Making sure that they know that the box that they're putting you in is not the box that you actually belong in.
Something, if you feel like somebody said something that really hurt your feelings and you can't say something, that's exactly why other people need to step up. That's exactly when people who aren't facing this type of discrimination and people who this doesn't personally affect on a daily basis, like, this is your chance to shine. Like, right here. Like, when something happens and it's so personal for someone and they can't respond, and you see that happening, saying something doesn't just call out whoever is being discriminatory. It also tells that person who's really having a rough time, like, hey, that wasn't cool. Like, people shouldn't be allowed to say those things or think those things about you. Like, that's not okay. And then you're just, like, killing two birds with one stone. Like, you're letting that person know that that is not okay to say or think, and you're letting this other person know that, hey, like, I think you're cool. You're a cool person.